When purchasing a home, buyers have the ability to negotiate with the seller to reach a mutually agreeable price and terms. Two common ways to do this are by asking the seller to lower the price of their home or to give seller concessions. Today we're going to walk through the pros and cons of each and which works best for certain buyers. If you find this information helpful, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe so you never miss a video. Asking the seller to lower the price of the home involves requesting that seller to reduce the overall cost of the home. This may be done for various reasons, such as the buyer's assessment of the fair market value of that home, or because there are repairs or renovations that they see need to be done that would reduce the value of the home as it is on the market. When the seller agrees to lower the price of the home, it reduces the amount of money that the buyer will need to finance. And as a result, the buyer will have a lower monthly mortgage payment. On the other hand, asking the seller to provide seller concessions involves requesting that the seller pay for certain closing costs and prepaids associated with the sale of that home. This may include things like title insurance, appraisal fees, attorney fees. When the seller agrees to provide seller concessions, it reduces the amount of money the buyer needs to pay up front at closing, which can be helpful for buyers who are strapped for cash. There are advantages and disadvantages to both approaches. Advantages of asking the seller to lower their price includes the possibility of reduced monthly mortgage payments if you as the buyer are still willing to put the original amount down. This would also lead to financing less money overall, which could lead to long-term savings of interest. Plus, if the appraisal comes in at the original list price, you could end up with built-in equity. There are a few disadvantages to asking the seller to lower the price of the home. One being that the seller simply might not be willing to lower the price, particularly if they believe the home is priced fairly. If the buyer is financing the purchase with a mortgage, ultimately the total savings on interest might not be significant. You'll want to ask to have that calculated. And this option of negotiating does not put more money in your pocket. Alternatively, the advantages of asking the seller to provide seller concessions include reduced upfront costs, which can help buyers who are short on cash or would like to keep more money in their bank account for moving or setting up of the new home. A buyer can also use seller concessions to buy down the interest rate, leading to long-term savings on interest paid. Or even prepay HOA dues or mortgage insurance up front. All three of these save you hundreds every single month for years to come. Disadvantages of asking the seller to provide seller concessions again include that the seller simply may not be willing to do so, particularly if they believe that there's enough demand for their home. The buyer is also giving up the possibility of immediate equity for, in exchange, immediate cash reserves. And lastly, the seller may be less willing to negotiate as much during the inspection process if they gave big seller concessions at the time of contract. Ultimately, whether you ask the seller to lower the price of the home or provide seller concessions will depend on the specific circumstances of the buyer and the seller, as well as the local real estate market conditions. It's important for buyers to work with their real estate agent to develop a negotiation strategy that will be most effective in reaching a successful purchase agreement. As always, if you have specific questions or are ready to jump in with both feet and begin the home buying process, give us a call. My team is here and ready to support you.